Okay, this is a 2-on-2 continuous drill, great drill for practicing most aspects of the game, on-ball and off-ball defence and on-ball and off-ball offence. When the player with the ball receives the pass from the coach, they're looking to try and drive to the basket. The player without the ball is looking to fill what we call receiver spots. Again, you can see move to the basket. We want that weak side player sliding to the baseline into a receiver spot. It's pretty poor defence on the closeout there. Again, so we're working on on-ball defence. His ability here to try and drive. As soon as he starts to drive, that weak side player should be looking to fill the weak side corner. You can see there the driver was expecting him to be there, but he went somewhere else, which causes a turnover. Here you can see the weak side defender isn't getting up to a good split line help position, and again this drill can be used to practice both good on-ball and off-ball defence and offence and blocking out. You can see that team there lost the ball because they didn't block out. Here she should be sliding down towards the baseline as he starts to drive, but instead she comes to the middle. And again, we want to work on those weak side players filling that low receiver spot, particularly in this drill here. It's a good example here where she slides, he gets almost to the corner and is a recipient of the pass. Again, poor on-ball defence there, leaving their feet at the shot fake. All things you need to correct as a coach as the drill progresses. Here I'd rather him lead out to the where the arrow points here at the wing instead of coming out too high there, which really affects his ability to have a good driving angle to the middle or to the baseline. Again, here you can see another baseline drive. That weak side player, as soon as he starts to drive, should be sliding right down to the baseline area where you can see her looking for to see if he's there, and he's not there, which again leads to a turnover. That there, right there, is textbook of what we're looking for. Good penetrating kick out to the corner. He didn't take the shot, but instead took another drive to the basket. Again, good example there of what we're trying to get. Good penetration, kick it to the person in the corner at the senior level, maybe just to where that yellow line is at the junior level, but that person off the ball moving to that weak side receiver spot. Here you can see this offside defender is way too far away from the ball. He should have been at the split line there, ready to help on that drive, particularly as Courtney had her hands full at guard and Gabe. Again, weak side defender here should be off on the split line, ready to help. The on-ball defender is doing her best to try and keep him in front of her. Easier said than done with Gabe. And again, this time, again, he comes to the middle instead of filling that weak side corner. It's not such a bad move if you're a bigger kid. Again, weak side defence need to get off to the split line as soon as the ball's passed to one side. He should be there trying to stop this drive. Another aspect of this drill is if a team shoots it and comes up with the offensive rebound, we stop play, and the team that got the offensive rebound gets a new possession. The team that didn't block out are off and a new defensive team comes in. So offensive rebounds rewarded, not blocking out is not rewarded. You can see here after he kicks the ball to the wing, he now needs to move away and create some space for the player who's got the ball. Instead he's got it hanging around the basket here, which ultimately brings his defender around, which reduces the space that the person who has the ball has to work with. This guy here should be blocking out. You can see the ball going up. He just turns around and turns and watches. Fortunately the ball doesn't bounce his way. But again, as a coach, you're trying to check on all these aspects of the game as these drills are unfolding. A little bit of athletic difference there between those two. Liv's claiming because it was a block shot, they got the offensive rebound and those two should be off. So they'll have an argument about that. Usually we sort arguments out by paper, scissors, rock. Whoever wins that gets to keep the ball. She won. But the hoop gods sort her out. Their team straight off again, they miss the shot. So you can see in this drill there's lots of scenarios where players are working on-ball defence. This guy here should be sliding to that weak side corner now as soon as 23 starts to drive. So you're continually working on the player of the ball, looking to penetrate the player without the ball, filling that weak side receiver spot. And of course, if the defence is off them, they can shoot it. Anytime the player with the ball receives it, they can dribble it, pass it, or shoot it. There you can see she only takes one dribble and doesn't really go anywhere, which is not what we're trying to emphasise in this drill. We want players that are going to dribble it, trying to attack and get to the charge zone. That's the target area we give them on the dribble. And when they get to that charge zone, then they can make a decision about whether they're going to pass it or shoot it. She gave him the shot there because she figured he wouldn't make it. Again, there he is right there hitting the charge zone. She hadn't quite got to that weak side corner, but again, in principle, that's the sort of stuff we're trying to create here. Kick out. Personally, I think she should have taken that shot then, rather than drive it off a kick out. Again, not bad play there. She got the drive to the basket. We want to be able to work on finishing those drives. You can see in the drill we have two lines in the basket, with an even number of players. Every time players come in, they're with the same partner. We usually play this, again, there was a good drive there. You can see the weak side players there as a receiver. He made the decision to shoot it rather than to pass it. As I was saying, we usually play these games first pair to score 10 points, and we score in 2s and 3s, and then we'll move on to a different start. Again, good drive by her there, good reverse spin. That would be exactly the sort of move that we're trying to develop with players. Ability to get to the rim and finish, or get to the rim and make a good pass. Again, not a bad drive there. He probably could have dished that to Olivia in the weak side corner. Poor offence there. Pretty good on-ball defence. We have quite a variety of obviously skill levels in this pair, in all these pairs. Again, this weak side defender should be getting to the split line. Doesn't quite get there, and again he penetrates past his man. So again, poor weak side defence there. As I said, we have quite a variety of skill levels here. When someone's gotten to 10, I usually penalise them by just having them jump 5 times, a bit quicker than doing push-ups. We relate that jumping to how high they should be jumping when they shoot the ball, but sometimes they don't give it their best effort. Now, same drill, now we're starting with an on-ball screen. So the player who doesn't catch the inbounds pass comes and sets an on-ball screen. And we work on, we're creating all sorts of different scenarios that can come from an on-ball screen, both for the offence and for the defence. So those two players are stepping off, so taking a shot there is the right choice. Fortunately, she knocks it down. In these 2-on-2 scenarios, we usually give the defence 2 choices. They can switch it, or they can step off and go under if the matchups don't work on a switch. What we want to try and teach in the with on-ball screens is some patience and trying to explore different scenarios and come up with strategies for penalising the defence, depending on how they guard the particular screen. You can see here they switch this, so the roller should be open, and you can see here that he seals his man just for a split second. The guy coming off the screen sees that and takes the ball a little bit further before hitting him on the roll. Here you can see the screener's defender is really fighting him as he goes to the basket. In this situation, the screener should just make a back cut to the basket rather than fighting him all the way over to the screen. Again, good dive out of the screen there, a good pass. So by continually getting these on-ball screens and only 4 players involved in the play, you're continually getting practice at reading how the defence guards the screen, trying to make good decisions as the player without the ball, the player with the ball, the players defending the situations. These constant scenarios help over time the players to make better decisions in games when these scenarios occur. Again, not a bad roll there, but he leaves space between his player and him. A better situation there would have been for him just to block him out for a brief second there, seal him, and create some space between him and the basket that the passer can pass into. Yeah, as I think I was saying before, we have quite a different skill level here in our group. Obviously some boys and some girls. These two guys with the ball here are probably our two most talented players. Gabe Hadley's a Victorian under-20 state player, and Dave Finno there is a Tasmanian under-20 state player. They would be well ahead of the rest of the kids from a skill point of view. Courtney here, who's defending the screen, made the Victorian under-20 state team this year, which is 2015. After just coming back from a knee injury. So she's probably one of the more talented girls, and the other small girl, Olivia, was on the under-18 Victorian state team and a reserve for the under-20 state team. Most of the others are a combination of junior championship level players and a couple of domestic level players there. So you can see there Dave fakes coming to get the screen and gets a backdoor pass, which again is a good choice. There's a lot of different scenarios that can occur when you come in a centre on ball screen, and this particular drill just gets them over and over so the players learn to make better basketball decisions in those 2-on-2 scenarios. And you're constantly coaching the on-ball and off-ball defence and blocking out every time the ball is shot. How to screen as well, how to read the screen. Obviously finishing in a contested situation. And the drill is quite fast moving as far as players rotating in and out. So we've a squad here of, we've got 12 players. Everyone's involved in the action on a regular basis, 10 players. So. Another on-ball screen. Good roll there. Seals him, keeps on his back. Good pass to hit it to the roller. Pretty crummy shot. Got the offensive rebound though, so that team's off. New team comes on. Again, another opportunity of faking, going to set the screen and then making a back cut. All good choices when players are going to initiate on-ball screens. And again, there's a variety of scenarios you can work on in this drill. Next, we're going to work on dribble handoffs. So the player who receives the pass from that forward lead is going to dribble the ball across the foul line and create a handoff situation. Again, so now you get to practice defending handoff scenarios. That's what the players are talking about now, how they're going to defend it with their player. So the player who gets it comes across the foul line. Again, good choice there by Dave, faking to come and get the handoff and going back door to the basket. Now Gabe comes to the handoff. Obviously the difference in skill level in our group affects the quality of the play sometimes. Just got to bear with that. And again, pretty poor off-ball defence by number 23 there. He needs to be on that split line helping in that drive situation. So here they come again for the handoff. Keeps going through, good pass. Pass again. These two again are a bit too talented for the rest of the other groups. Too sure what's going on here. Again, perhaps not the best quality of play we could have. In 2-on-2, handoff start, defence goes under, so taking the shot is a good choice. You mix up the type of leads you want the players to coach practice, where they can lead straight up the lane and then pop out, which is an L cut, or they can jab towards the basket and lead straight out to the wing, more a V cut action. Both are good. Ultimately, you want the players to get open, and you want the defence to contest that forward lead from time to time as well. Offensive rebound, so they stay on. He keeps leading out to the top, this kid, instead of leading out to the wing. Again, poor decision there. And again, this is what, again, the quality of play is not great here sometimes, but you are constantly working on the players being in a competitive situation, working on making good basketball decisions in each one of these scenarios. Bad decision to hand it off to him, a left-hander who can't dribble the ball very well with his left hand, coming and taking it, going on his right hand. He would have been better off keeping it. There's a good decision there. Faked the handoff, spun, went back the other way. Comes to the handoff, defence goes under, so taking the shot is not a bad choice there. Here you can watch, he handed the ball off, defence went underneath, so he made a decision straight away to go and re-screen, which I think is a good basketball decision. The driver made a decision to fake going off the screen and going straight to the basket. And again, all these different scenarios are choices the players learn to make as you are constantly putting them into handoff situations, on-ball situations over and over and over again, which is difficult to get in 5-on-5 play. The next start we're going to look at is when the player who doesn't get the ball now has to come in and either post up on that yellow line and white line, and hopefully they'll execute better than that group just did there. So now we're looking off post up play. So the opposite player can either cut to the low post or cut to the elbow. They cut to the elbow, we're looking for a handoff from a stationary position rather than the dribble handoff that we used before. If we throw it into the post, in a medium post-up situation, we're looking to give and go or slide to the middle third of the court. So working on post feeds, inside-out play, and better ball handling than that. So again, here we go. Post up. Again, probably not the best pass. Pretty ugly little series, that one. Again, this guy's leading out to the top. He should be leading out to the wing. To get a better angle to cut to the basket or drive to the basket. Like the whole phase there took a little bit too long. Again, stationary drill handoff. Now he looks for a one-on-one opportunity. They get the offensive rebound, so they get to go again. This time Olivia's coming in to post up off the elbow. Pretty ambitious taking him on. Okay, Dave into the post. Here's the first real scenario of what we're working on here. So now Gabe, who shouldn't just stand there when he passes it in, he should make a give and go cut or slide to the middle third of the court, which will take his defender away from the person who's in that low post situation. Here we go. So there's a give and go cut. So now Gabe's one-on-one against his player. Now he's just got to make a good decision about whether to drive it and shoot it. And again, Dave comes flying in rather than spotting up in that weak side receiver spot where I prefer he learned to play from out there. Again, another post-up scenario here. Ball goes in, give and go cut. So again, he takes that defender away. So now Dave is one-on-one in the low post. Not a bad move. Gabe in, give and go cut. So now he's one-on-one. Again, Dave likes to make slashing moves to the basket once the player with the ball starts putting the ball on the floor. Leads to the high post this time. Good on ball screen afterwards. Good roll, crummy pass. Falls over a lot, that guy, don't he? While they're sweeping the floor there, you'll see at the end of this tape there's a couple of other ways you can start this drill. Instead of the opposite player coming into the low post or the elbow, you can have both players lead up to the elbows with the coach with the ball at the top of the key, and then start at what I would call an elbow hit. So you pass it to one player on the elbow. The player who doesn't get it steps out to the top of the key and then can come from a stationary handoff from that player on the elbow. You can start it with one player running a cut or off the other one for a turnout. So the player in the left block might cut off a player on the right block in a screening action. There's all sorts of different ways you can add to it to start it, which gives you constant repetition of different scenarios that occur in a game that involve two players. And as a result, you're practicing the 2-on-2 offensive skills. You can see this time he just stands there, which is not what I want that player to do, because you see his defenders there as well. I want that player to either give and go or slide to the middle third of the floor. I'm not coaching these guys much in this drill because I want to just demonstrate the drill and try and get through it as quickly as possible. I'd pick up more things normally than what I'm picking up here with these guys today. Into the low post, pass, give and go cut, that's what we want. Again, leads to a one-on-one, probably should have gone to the basket there. Into the post. And the quality of the passing hasn't been great in this so far today. General execution hasn't been great, but I hope you're getting the idea of how the drill can work and how you can practice all the different scenarios that might occur in 2-on-2 play. As I say here, you can see as an example if the guy in the Navy singlet set a screen, Gabe could run a turnout off his screen, or both of them could run up to the elbows and we could start it with elbow hits. A lot of different ways you can start this drill, but it's a great drill for working on-ball and off-ball offence, on-ball and off-ball defence. Thank you.